Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here on the west coast of Canada. I hope everybody has had a fantastic weekend. I know I had a good little break. And now everybody is ready to get back and learn some IELTS. So welcome Route 66 Gaming, Marjona, Shaik. Good to see our members, Kyber, Sammy. Hi, Carolina. Welcome to our moderator. Nice to see everyone in this class. Students, we are looking at IELTS Speaking Part 1. We are going to discuss what it takes for those Band 9 level responses. Hi, Rajesh. I'm glad you're ready to get started. Again, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS success. Visit us there. And for the general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. Of course, the speaking section of the exam is the same for both modules. It's a 12 to 15 minute interview face-to-face with an IELTS examiner. It has 3 parts. Today we're focusing especially on part 1. While we wait for a few more students, let me just show you those websites real quick. This is our academic IELTS website here with the blue background at aehelp.com. You can click that big red button to join our premium package. And we are a British Council IELTS Test Registration Center and certified agents. And then once you join that package, you can practice your speaking with other students in your My Student page. You have your student partner speaking function there. You can click on that to speak to other students. And then this is our general IELTS website here with the green background. Again, it's the same idea. You can click this big red button to join our premium package. All right, everyone. So to get our apps, of course, we have apps. Academic IELTS Help will link to aehelp.com. General IELTS Help will link to gieltshelp.com. You can get those apps in your app stores. Now, you've probably noticed that I'm speaking at a fairly good pace today. That's because I want you to get used to the IELTS speaking interview. IELTS speaking interview is natural English. Okay, there is no ESL. The examiner will not speak slowly. They will not explain vocabulary or grammar to you. They can repeat questions, but that's about it. So be ready for that. They could be British, they could be Canadian like me, depending on where you take the exam. If you take it in Canada, most likely you'll have a Canadian examiner. If you take it in UK, of course, it will be in British. All right. Vyam Patel says, I got my results today, listening and reading 8.5, speaking 8, writing 7, overall 8. Thank you so much. Vyam, congratulations. That's a fantastic score. Band 8 is a score even a native speaker might be jealous of, sitting the exam without preparation. So good for you. Send me an email, and I'd love to get your testimonial. If anybody has questions or would like to send us a testimonial, you can do that and send it to Adrian at aehelp.com. All right, students, so we've got lots of live classes this week. Today, of course, speaking part 1. And then we have writing and more speaking throughout the week. And we're mixing in task 1 general writing this week as well because we're multi-streaming. So we're streaming to our general and our academic YouTube channels now. So general IELTS students, don't worry, you'll get to have some general IELTS task 1 this week as well. Gigi's record is asking, sir, is it okay to use you during speaking? No, it's not, Gigis. You should not use the word you because you're generally not speaking to the examiner. It's actually quite awkward, especially in an exam, to speak to your examiner or about your examiner. So that's a good first tip. for a band 9 level performance is do not use the word you. A lot of students do that. It makes for lower quality communication. Okay, so let's get into today's lesson. For a high band response in the IELTS speaking, you need to have good ideas. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago before I went on my break. So this is a little bit of a review. A lot of students have trouble coming up with good answers, good ideas for their answers. So here are some ways to help you with your ideas, okay? So first of all, when you have a question and when you're practicing at home, think about what most people would say if you asked a pool of 100 individuals, okay? There's actually a really good game show that used to be on TV here in North America, and it used to run for a really long time. This game show was called Family Feud, and I'm sure you could find it on the internet if you look around. It's quite entertaining. This game show was all about this kind of thinking. Like if you asked 100 people, what would they say? So most popular answers. Like they would do something like say, what do people keep in their wallet? Most popular answer, money, credit cards, business cards, their telephone number. So this game show was all about what are the most popular answers, and contestants would win by guessing the most popular answers. It's actually fun. Watch it. It's good English practice, and it can help you with this kind of thinking of what are the most common or most popular answers, okay? All right. So most popular answers, like what do you or what do people keep in their wallet? So it's just a kind of a fun one, okay? Credit card, cash, business card, photo, right, of children. Okay, so to think of good ideas in the IELTS, it's great to come up with the top level answers like credit card, cash, but it's also good to think outside the box and think quickly and come up with answers like photos of family, photos of children. Okay, so visualize. All right. And that leads me to my next one. So think outside the box. It means don't just think of credit cards and cash when you think of a wallet, but think of other things that people keep in their wallets as well. Here's an example. Like, don't just think of technological development when we're talking about the future, but also think about social development like public education, public voting. Okay, careful to avoid overused cliche responses like mobile phones. And another one that we could add in there today is COVID. So a lot of students are going, I'm doing this and that because of COVID. And I know it's a hot topic, but it's harder to get a band 9 if you're talking about mobile phones and COVID because you just sound like every other IELTS candidate. So avoid those kinds of topics, okay? And the main, most important strategy that you have to implore, it means use in your IELTS speaking, is to always think about giving an answer, giving an explanation, and then continuing with some kind of a smooth example. So once you give your explanation, then you can say, because. So if I go back to my original example of what do people keep in their wallet, then you can say, well, most people in their wallets will have some money and credit cards so that they can buy their groceries and other items that they need for living. Just yesterday, I used a credit card in my wallet to pay for some orange juice. Okay, so that's your answer, explanation, example. That will get you a great mark. Remember, the IELTS examiner doesn't know you, doesn't know who you are. They might not even know your culture very well. So you have to speak and communicate very clearly. That's the only way to get a band 9. Okay? All right. Eunice, if you can't see the board clearly, change your YouTube setting to 720p. We are in almost real time here, so that's why we have low latency streaming, and that's why it might not be clear. All right. So this is speaking, everyone, so make sure to speak and repeat, okay? Don't just write. Writing in the chat is a good start. It's a good first step, but don't stop there. Make sure to repeat what you hear. And if you hear some new words, write them down. All right. Okay. So here we go. The IELTS speaking interview, you go in, you register 20 minutes before the actual interview. Make sure to show up an hour early. Start practicing your speaking with other people who are there waiting for their exam. Be social. It will build confidence. It will build fluency. It's really, really important. Okay? All right. So you go into your exam, and the very, very first question that the examiner will ask you is actually, may I see your identification? They have to make sure that you didn't switch out with another person after registration and you're not using a doppelganger to fake the exam and hope to get a higher mark. A doppelganger means a person that looks like you. So you have to show your ID 20 minutes before for registration, and you have to show it again to your examiner, okay? So you walk in, and your examiner will say, may I see your identification? Now, right away, start building fluency in your conversation, okay? So give a nice, clear, original answer for this, all right? Give me a nice, clear, original answer. So give me a full, nice, clear, original answer for this, okay? May I see your identification? Proud Nurse says, gladly. Here is my passport that I used to register for my test 2 months ago. Please have a look. Proud Nerd, good. I like your start too, gladly. Many people say sure or certainly. Gladly is a nice way to start as well. Absolutely. Hi, Arda, over in the general section, and Al Imardon. Good to see you all. Shubham Puri says, yes, please, here you go. That's a little bit simple. I think you want to be a little bit more fluent, but definitely don't make mistakes. Okay. Kunal, if you only have your first name in your passport, that's okay. When you introduce yourself, just explain that. That's fine. Okay. Chris says, yeah, sure, here it is. Please have a look. Amu says, yes, of course. Here's my passport, which I've used to register for this examination 2 weeks ago. Please have a look. Sammy says, yes, certainly. Here's my international ID card that I used to register for this exam a couple of weeks ago through the online portal. Just a sec. Let me flip to my credentials. Yes, here you go. Very nice, Sammy. Yeah, so that's absolutely a good, clear response, right? So speak clearly. Tanush says, yes, sir. Here's my identification that I used to register for my exam 2 months ago. Very nice, everyone. So that's how you do it. May I see your identification? I like this kind of a different start. Gladly. Yeah, gladly is a very common way. Gladly, here is my ID that I have used to register for the exam a month back. And here are my credentials. Please take a look. Okay, so lots of ways to answer questions. Here we go, everyone. Repeat after me. May I see your identification? Gladly. Here's my ID that I have used to register for the exam a month back. And here are my credentials. Please take a look. And you flip to the page with the credentials, right? So notice that right away there's present perfect here. I have used to register. That's great. You're showing fluency. You're showing present perfect. You're showing natural original language. It's fantastic. Okay, that's how you want to start. Start strong. A strong start is always a great way to ensure a good finish. All right, just like in any race. Okay, when you're running in a running race, you need to start strong. Even in a marathon where you're running a long distance, you have to have a strong start. So very important. Okay, and with that spirit, the next question is, what is your full name? So first question, always, may I see your identification? Next question, what is your full name? Give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. Okay, Vicky03, I see your previous answer, and that's good too. All right, Arda says, my given name is Arda and my surname is Garbaz. As you can see on my ID, please just call me Arda. Arda, that works fine. It's nice, clean, to the point, and fluent. Okay. Sammy says, my full name is Siva Sankar. My surname is Pulivarthi. Please call me by my nickname, Sammy. That's what my friends and family call me, and I'm comfortable with it. Very nice, Sammy. Learn to say that nice and smooth and fast, just like I did. Okay. All right. Swamulu, if you would like to follow the channel, just click on subscribe on the channel. Okay, Megazoid 2016 says, my name is Piolo Pascal, but since I don't have any sobriquet, you can just simply call me Piolo. Okay, sure, that works. All right. Saeed says, my full name is Saeed Alizadeh. Please just call me Saeed by my first name. That works, and you can say it like that. It's a little bit of a unique way to say it, but that's totally fine. Okay, so really good. All right, my given names are Thomas and Frederick, and my family name is Smithson. Please just call me Fred. It's what I go by. Okay. So here's a nice one for you. Okay. So again, question, what is your full name? My given names are Thomas and Frederick, and my family name is Smithson. Please just call me Fred. It's what I go by. All right, again, nice and natural response, right? So nice and fluent. Here, this person chooses to use the short version of their middle name, potentially. And here's a nice kind of idiomatic expression. So already showing natural language. It's what I go by, okay? So if you say to somebody, it's what I go by, that means that that's the name that you use on a daily basis, okay? All right. So again, make sure to repeat, everyone. Deepika, welcome to our group of members. Send me an email. Oh, no, Deepika. Okay. Yeah, there you are. All right. Never mind. All right. So good. Now, the examiner, after asking for your passport and your name, will say, okay, now I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better and some questions on a general topic for part one. They will also say at the beginning that they're recording this for marking and clerical purposes. They'll say your candidate number, and they'll say the time and location of the exam. Okay. All right. Swamulu, you will see the schedule for our live lessons on the channel. And if you allow notifications on your phone for our channel, then you'll get that information all the time. Okay, so they might start with a very common question in this kind of icebreaker warm-up is, where do you live? Okay, so where do you live? Shubham Puri is asking, is it okay if we speak in a little informal manner with correct English? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, it is clear communication. It is formal or professional communication, but within that, it's okay to use some informal expressions. Absolutely. Okay. So, Proud Nerd says, currently I'm living in a 2-story house located on the outskirts of Erbil City. The latter is the capital city of Kyrgyzstan, which is found in Iraq. Okay, so Proud Nerd, you don't need to say latter because you're not listing cities, okay? And we don't say the outer sides, we say the outskirts. So think about like the skirt, the dress, and the outside of the skirt. So the outskirts of the city. Okay, think about the city as like a dress or a piece of clothing, and it's the outskirts of the city. Okay, very good. All right. So Kyber says, I've been residing in a 3-bedroom apartment for the last 2 years in Kabul with my parents and 2 brothers. Okay, very nice, Kyber. I like it. I like your use of present perfect. The examiner will catch that as well. Arda, balcony. That's, I'm not sure where you're going with that, but you want to put that into a sentence. All right. Tayinder says, I live in a 2-story house made of brick with my family located near Indo Park border, Bamal in Pathankot district. Okay, Tayinder, that's pretty good. I'm not sure if saying that it's a brick house is necessarily good, but it's okay. All right, Kumar Satyam, welcome back to our group of members. Okay. All right, let's see. Amu says, I've been living in an independent house since 3 years, along with my parents and a younger brother in Hiberdad district. Amu, we don't say independent house, we say detached house, okay? So I'll give you an example here with some of the corrections, okay? So I live in a 3-bedroom detached house on the outskirts of Vancouver in a suburban area called Langley with my siblings and parents. I have been there for the past 15 years. Okay. So here are a couple of words to pay attention to, okay? It's called a detached house. A detached house means that it's not connected to another house or another building. If it is, it's usually called a townhouse or a duplex, okay? So it's called a detached house. And if you live in the suburbs, which means in a place with a lot of houses and not a lot of high buildings or skyscrapers or none actually, then you live more on the outskirts of the city in the suburbs, okay? So remember these words, detached house, that's a very common collocation, and you live on the outskirts of a city, okay? All right. And then another very, very typical question is, what do you like to do in your free time? So it's like that, or either what do you do in your spare time? What are your hobbies? Okay. So what do you like to do in your free time? Definitely have a good, smooth answer for this. Okay. All right. Vicky wrote, I inhabit a 2-story, 2-bedroom house, which is located in the heart of Thiruvanur, Tamil Nadu. I have been living there for 8 years with my parents and siblings. Vicky, not bad. Watch my corrections there. That was for the previous, okay? All right, I can't read the Cyrillic. I should practice that alphabet, but the answer I can. The answer is I like listening to music and swimming. There's a good pool close to my home. In fact, I swam some lanes just yesterday to physically be prepared and be calm for this exam. Okay, so get that example in there, students. It's very, very important. All right, we want lots of examples. All right. Muguntan says, I like to play video games when I have free time. I recently played a game called Red Dead Redemption. It's a beautiful game about the Old West. Yeah, very good, Muguntan, okay? And I like how you put that example in there of the actual game that you played. It gives me a lot more clarity because video games, it's a huge genre. It's a huge area of hobbies. And some people like to play strategy games. Some people like to play first-person shooter games. So it's good to go into more detail, right? Playing video games these days, it's like saying I like watching movies. Okay, well, what kind of movies? What did you watch last, all right? So yeah, definitely go into detail. You will get more points. So good job, Mugunthan, okay? And good job using the question. All right, Andriy Uskov, when I have time for myself, I like to work out. I like to go outside my home with my family and spend 3 to 4 hours on a walk or a hike. Last Saturday, we went up St. George Mountain and it was just beautiful. All right, Andriy, it's a good start. All right, you want to watch your grammar and you want to get an example in there. Okay. All right. Bharat says, I like to go to the gym. Helps me to stay motivated for the next day. Okay, Bharat, good start. Again, more information. You have to be fluent, all right? So you have to have fluency. When students ask me, like, how much is enough of a response? Think answer, explanation, example. That's enough, okay? That's usually 2 to 3 sentences, okay? Anne says, Mondays and Tuesdays, I read books. Wednesdays and Thursdays, I play football. And the remaining days, I go to my grandparents and visit with them in my free time. Okay, Anne, that's not bad. Use the plural, okay? So we can actually count the days of the week. And if I do something regularly on a certain day of the week, okay, then I will put the word I put the letter S so that it shows regularity, okay? So let me show you this, son. So I'll use yours, okay? Mondays and Fridays, I usually have time to myself in the evenings, and I enjoy reading books and going for walks. On the weekends, when I'm not working or going to school, I like to indulge in puzzles and board games with my friends and family. I played Monopoly for 5 hours last Saturday. Okay. All right. So again, notice this. When you do something with regularity on certain days, you can use the plural. Notice how spell check absolutely accepts that. It's okay with it. It says, hey, yeah, there's more than one Monday here. You can count the Mondays. Okay, so Mondays and Fridays, I usually have time to myself in the evenings, and I enjoy reading books and going for walks. On the weekends, when I'm not working or going to school, I like to indulge in puzzles and board games with my friends and family. I played Monopoly for 5 hours last Saturday. Nice and fluent. You're getting lots of band scores here with this kind of an answer. Why? Because you're showing your level of English, that you know that here the examiner is asking about a regular pattern, so a regular activity, and you can express that with the plural form of Mondays and Fridays. Time to myself. It's a nice expression to paraphrase free time. So when I have time to myself. And notice how I have parallel grammar, Mondays, Fridays, evenings, okay? Notice the parallel grammar in the verbs: reading books, going for walks, working, studying, going to school, okay? So I'm using the progressive form of the verbs throughout. You want to have that kind of grammar, okay? And then right into an example, Monopoly. So you played Monopoly. It's a type of popular board game. And quantitative language. So you've got that use of very clear numbered language. 5 hours last Saturday. Ooh, this person really likes their board games. 5 hours. Wow. Okay, so very clear answer there. All right, that's what you want to focus on. And if you missed that, if it's confusing, don't worry. We're recording this, so you'll be able to catch this lesson again later, just make sure to subscribe to the channel. Okay, so you're going along nicely. You're doing a good job. You're paying attention to all of these details. Practice these, okay? And then the examiner will introduce the topic of the part one speaking, and they'll say, okay, let's talk about movies. How often do you watch a movie? Okay, very common question, asking for frequency. So every day, always, often, sometimes, never, those adverbs of frequency, right? So how often do you watch a movie? So Paulson says, I watch movies during the weekends, usually twice a month, but after the pandemic, I've been watching a lot of movies, mainly because they're available online. I like watching action and crime thrillers. Okay, good, Paulson. What's the last movie that you watched, and did you enjoy it? I would add that in there. Sammy says, I generally watch movies on Sundays after lunch. Apart from that, I also go to the theater once a month. Last week, I watched Tiger on Amazon Prime along with my wife. It was really fun. Yeah, not along with my wife, just with my wife, Sammy. Okay. All right. Naji Bilal says, I don't really like watching movies. I feel they are just a waste of time. Negative answers, Naji, are difficult. And if you give a negative answer, you still have to give a good answer. Okay. So watch this. I want to give this as an example because sometimes students ask me about these negative answers. They are okay, but notice that they're more difficult and realize that you need to still give a good answer. Okay, so Naji's answer was something like this. I don't really like watching movies. I feel that they are a waste of time. Okay, this doesn't actually answer this question clearly. All right, so if you give a negative answer on the IELTS exam, you still have to give a professional answer. Okay, think about that, everyone. So how can we do that? So if I want to answer this way, I don't really like watching movies. I feel that they're a waste of time. How can I make that into a good answer? Can anybody help me? All right. Mital Parmar, I'll definitely help you. For academic IELTS, check out aehelp.com and switch over to the Academic English Help channel. Okay. So how can I make this into a better answer? If I want to say I don't really like watching movies, I really feel that they are a waste of time. What can I do to improve that negative answer? Okay. Again, think about it. The question is dealing with adverbs of frequency. Okay. So I don't really see a good response just yet. You always want to directly answer the question. Okay. Carolina says maybe give an example. Absolutely, Carolina. So let's do that. Let's give an example. The last time I remember seeing a flick was at my friend's house a year ago. It was a documentary or nature documentary called A Life on This Planet. Okay, so sure, that's one way, as we can still include an example. Yeah, Jasur, very good. So Jasur says we should still use rarely or never, right? To directly answer the question. So you should still use a phrase like, Oh, well, I rarely watch movies, maybe once or twice a year. Okay, so it's really hard sell to tell someone that you've never seen a movie. It's kind of like, really? Well, you've never been on an airplane where you basically have to watch a movie if it's a long flight. Okay, so always answer the question, even if you're answering negative. All right, so notice how we have a much better answer now. Okay, the first answer was, I don't really like watching movies. I feel that they're a waste of time. Okay, you might get a band 7 if you're very fluent and very clear and sound very natural. But if you answer like this, you're going to do much better. Oh, well, I rarely watch movies, maybe once or twice a year. I don't really like them because I feel they're a waste of time. The last time I remember seeing a flick was at my friend's house a year ago. I think it was a nature documentary called A Life on This Planet. Way better. Okay, you're getting a way better band score with that. Everybody see that? Okay, so everybody get that? All right. So that's what you need to do. So even negative answers are okay, but you have to give full, fluent answers. Okay. Okay, so here we go. Next question. What is your favorite movie and why? Okay, what is your favorite movie and why? Give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. What is your favorite movie and why? Yash is asking, tomorrow's my listening, reading, writing. What should I do? Do a practice exam and then rest and go to your exam early tomorrow and speak English all day long. Those are my last minute tips for you. Okay, Yash? All right. Mugunthan says, I love watching Marvel movies. My favorite movie is Avengers Endgame. It has good character arc and an interesting fact. I just watched the movie yesterday. Mugunthan, that's great. That's a great answer. Okay. Maybe Alexander. I like a lot of movies, but the one I like the most is Ghost Rider because I'm really crazy about fantasy films, and this one is just out there. Okay. How to Install says, I won't hesitate in saying that the Batman trilogy is my favorite movie series. Everything seems to be perfect about it. The cast, the acting, the setting, plot, and music. Very nice. Okay, so very nice. And the music score. Very nice use of natural language. Music score is the music written for the movie. All right. Shuknar Gill says, my go-to movie genre is thrillers because it gives me a sense of excitement. And my favorite movie is Scream. Okay, so you still have to choose one. Okay. All right. Aman Preetkaur says, I have a huge list of movies which I admire, but one I like the most is Walk Together. The reason being a hopeless romantic. I love that movie. Okay, so I'm guessing that's a drama, maybe a love story. Okay. All right. So be clear. So my favorite flick of all time is Shawshank Redemption, which is a story about a man who goes to jail and is falsely accused. He then manages to escape after many years. I love this film because it is an amazing story of the human spirit. And perseverance. Okay. All right. So it's okay to give a short little synopsis of the film as well. All right. Here we go. So, what is your favorite movie? My favorite flick of all time is Shawshank Redemption, which is a story about a man who goes to jail and is falsely accused. He then manages to escape after many years. I love this film because it is an amazing story of the human spirit and perseverance. I think IMDb gave it a 9.6, and it's classed as #1 of all time. So there you go. Many other people like it as well. Okay, so next question. Who is your favorite actor or actress and why? Now, the examiner might not ask you why until they have to. So it's really important to include the reasons for your answers. If you see the examiner's question sheet, the why is often in brackets. It's like, well, ask them why if they don't tell you why. So you want to definitely include that. Okay. Anuj says, my favorite actor is Hrithik Roshan because he is a laborious person and he does his job with perfection. He gave 100% for best results, and of course he is a smart guy. All right, it's pretty good. It's a little bit unclear, that answer. It sounds like you're kind of jumping around a bit, but it's not bad, okay? So when you describe a person, you should always focus on their personality backed up by actions or examples. Okay. Adnan says, my favorite movie is PK because this movie is funny and there are some good life lessons in it, which I like very much. Arun says, my favorite movie is Super 30. Yeah, those are great. All right, let's get to the next question. Okay. Arda says, oh, it's definitely Catherine Winnick. She is not only gorgeous, but also she always goes nice with her role and she completely fits. I have known her because of Vikings. She was one of the main characters. Yeah, Arda, that's not bad. You can say that a little bit better. So you can say she is very good at adjusting to her role, or she's very good at making her character come to life. Okay, there are better ways to say that, Arda. Okay. Let's see some more. Cass Hermoso says, the actor I adore over others through the course of time is Tom Cruise. He's the most professional actor and a versatile type of actor, and he does his own stunts. All right, so he's a brave actor. All right, let's see. Farah Aprila says, I don't have a specific one, but I like Shin Min as she plays a lot of romantic dramas. I like it when she's acting in Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha. She is very pretty, and she does a good job. All right, good. Audrey Tran says, Sean is the best doctor and the main character in a medical series. He is very smart. Okay, Audrey, you have to watch your grammar there a little bit. Okay. Amar Hassanaim says, Anthony Hopkins, because he has performed many interesting roles throughout his career and he is so talented. All right. So you can say something like this. That's a tough one. But if I had to choose, I would go with Bill Murray. I love his melancholic type of humor. And he is amazing at this type kind of role. I especially liked his acting in the film Groundhog Day. All right. So here we go. Repeat after me. Who is your favorite actor or actress and why? That's a tough one, but if I had to choose, I would go with Bill Murray. I love his melancholic type of humor, and he is amazing at this kind of role. I especially liked his acting in the film Groundhog Day. If you haven't seen it and you want to get a good laugh, definitely watch that one. It's brilliant. Notice the leading expression here. That's a tough one. It's good. In the context, it works really well. But if I had to choose, so here we have a conditional. I would go with. So this type of grammatical structure and natural language is very, very important for those band nines, okay? But if I had to choose, I would go with. I would go with is also an idiomatic expression. It means I would choose, right? You don't have to use very complicated idioms in your speaking. In fact, I suggest avoiding very complex idioms. Instead, learn these simpler expressive idioms like I would go with. Okay, so I would go with Bill Murray. Okay, so next question. Where do you enjoy watching movies? And again, that question, why, right? Because they're always like, give me the reason, give me the reason. So where do you enjoy watching movies? Location here, okay? So different questions kind of fish for different types of answers. Here we're looking for location. Ansh Birla says, I usually enjoy watching movies in my own room because my room has all of the amenities like air conditioner, a big screen, and a comfortable chair. Okay, Ansh, very good. Just one time. Okay. Prasanth says, I love watching movies in the theater or in my home with a bunch of friends with some snacks as well, just like last week when I watched the movie called Doctor, which is a comedy action film. Okay. Sammy says, I usually feel happy watching it in the theater because the sound quality and the size of the screen is amazing, and I feel that I'm watching the live show in front of me. Last week, I watched Titan. Okay, very good, Sammy. Nice. La Chica says, I like watching movies in my living room. It's because watching a movie on my couch with a duvet and the temperature set according to my needs makes it very comfortable. Okay. Good. Arda says, I enjoy watching movies in my home, but if I don't include cinemas, it's always been fun watching with my family so we can have some chat and review the films. I watched a comedy film yesterday with my family at home. Arda, good. Not just review the film, but you critique the film. We can critique the film. It comes from French, that word. And we critique the film. We explain what we like about it, what we don't like about it. That's critiquing the film. La Paz says, I'm an immense fan of Chorn Sovanarich. I used to meet him. I have met him one time, and he was friendly and kind. He's a positive person. Okay, La Paz, that's for the previous question. It's not bad. Andre says, I most like going to the cinema because I like to go with friends and get excited for new superhero movies like The Avengers. Okay, good. All right. So let me give you an answer here. I'm surprised I didn't see this. Maybe somebody wrote it, but I know this is one reason I like watching films at home. I love to watch films in the comfort of my home, in my living room. I have a big screen TV, 72 inches, with full surround sound. And the best part is I can pause the movie at any time and raid the fridge for some food. I did just that and ate a bucket of ice cream while watching the Squid Game. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, I like watching movies at home. The reason why I like watching movies at home is I can pause the film, go to the bathroom, go to the fridge, raid the fridge. Raid the fridge means that you open the fridge and you just start grabbing things that you really want to eat. We call that raid the fridge. Again, a nice, natural, idiomatic expression, okay? So one more time, repeat after me. Where do you enjoy watching movies? Why? Here we go. I love to watch films in the comfort of my home, in my living room. I have a big screen TV, 72 inches with full surround sound. And the best part is I can pause the movie at any time and raid the fridge for some food. I did just that and ate a bucket of ice cream while watching the Squid Game. Okay? All right. So, and the best part is... All right, so there we go. That's a good, solid answer. All right. There we are. Okay, so that's how you do it. And here are a couple more questions that you can try on your own in your own time. Has the way you watch films changed in the last 10 years? If you could make a movie, what would it be about? Try answering those questions on your own with partners. You can, again, go to our websites. So here's the general IELTS website with the green background. You can click that big red button to join the premium package. Once you do, you can enter your student account and you have your student partner speaking available to you. You click on that button and then you can video and audio chat with other IELTS students and practice those questions and other questions. And again, remember, be fluent, be confident, speak in full sentences, give answers, explanations, and examples throughout your speaking interview. That is your key to that high band score. Lots of new vocabulary, lots of new expressions in today's lesson. Make sure to write those down, practice those. Chiazokam, you are very, very welcome. Eugen, thank you for those fun emojis. Carolina, thank you for moderating this speaking. That's really, really helpful. Much love back to you, Sammy, in India. Again, check out aehelp.com for academic IELTS, glshelp.com for general. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria, Canada. For now, I will be back tomorrow. We're going to do some writing. Bye, everyone.